Hello world, and hello friends, welcome back to Minecraft, and also welcome back to a new world, and also just welcome back in general. I've been gone for a bit, but here I am. I'm here to have fun with not just the vanilla game, but some mods that I really do enjoy playing with. Most notably are Apotheosis, Sophisticated Storage, and refined storage. Now, the main point is to do Apotheosis, but I kind of need some help with storage because vanilla Minecraft really doesn't work that well when you have a bunch of new items added. Now, why do I mean a bunch of new items? Well, this chest behind me is one of those. In this chest are a bunch of gems, which are items that can be placed onto different tools and armor to increase the stats and strength of everything. In addition to that, there are a lot of new enchanted books. Now, all of this stuff I have collected just in the few minutes of playtime that I have had here. And by a few minutes, I do mean about 10 Minecraft days, give or take. I'm not trying to rush through it, but I did skip most of the beginning of this because I assume all of you have seen that countless times. The only thing you really missed out on is I got lucky to create, or not create, to tame a lot of dogs. I got 3 out of the 5, I think it's 5, variants. A bird and a horse. And there's more horses in the background, but you may have noticed something. I just walked up a full set of blocks. I just walked up a full block. And no, it's nothing that is completely unheard of. It is an attribute on my boots that I have an extra 0.5 step height. Now, that's one of the bonuses of Apotheosis, and I think going into detail is going to be a little bit hard to do because it's just a lot of information. There's a wiki for Apotheosis. There is also a book in game that I completely forgot to craft until now that goes over all of the different stuff. There's spawner changes, potion changes, enchanting changes, and some stuff in adventure which I did cover. But most importantly is the world tiers, which I did unlock, and slowly but surely I will, oh, I can actually almost upgrade that. Slowly but surely I will complete these, but also I will have some storage improvements at my backing, including some backpacks, which I have currently that helped a lot in hauling all of these all at once, which is a little crazy. But also, I'll have refined storage, and if you like that mod, you know how it works, and you guys can look into it on your own. But for now, I need to actually go down this mine and get some more resources so I can perhaps get another world tier checked off my list. Aha, I reached this without realizing it. With a brand new helmet that actually is... Oh yeah, because I had nothing on it. With a helmet, I can now upgrade if I wanted to, just from a haven, which has low drop rarities and no augments, into the frontier, which I know might be a little bit risky, but now I get a few augments for myself, monsters get augments, and rarities go up. Now, I believe, yep, I just need one more thing to get to Ascent. This world tier I haven't done too much with. Most of the times when I actually play Apotheosis is in a mod pack, and the world tier stuff doesn't exist. So, this is new for me. I'm looking forward to it. Alright, well, I've had bad luck and I've had good luck. I died once. The waypoint's behind me. It's still listed as death, but I've named it a spawner because it spawns silverfish. But I've had good luck because I stumbled across a wither skeleton skull. Now, one alone doesn't really do too much, but as you can see from my armor, I've been caving and gotten a lot of items, and now it's time to have a little bit of fun with Apotheosis. First things first, I just grabbed a whole bunch of stuff because I forget what stuff costs. I need an enchanting table, and that gets its own achievement, and I guess I can put it here for now. This is all a work in progress and will all be improved as time goes on. But then the next thing I want to do, I have JEI here. I believe it's a salvaging table I need next for Apotheosis, which I need gem dust. And gem dust, I need to use the salvaging table. But I can get around that with some anvils that I have also found. Now I need to first take some gems, and let's see, one that's a low rarity, cracked, there we go. So I believe, let's give myself a little bit more of a leeway. If I place those down on the ground, place an anvil 1, 2, 3 blocks above it. Yeah, there we go. Now I have gem dust. Sun is setting, but now I also need some tools. Well, I guess I have the tools in my inventory. I just need another bucket. I think my previous bucket got burned up in lava when I died. Like I said, bad luck. And ironically, I need to get some lava, but I'll do that after I sleep. Alright, and now with I think everything I need. Oh, I need a smithing table. Salvaging table. Let's use my worn pickaxe though. I can now get a salvaging table. And I'll put this guy just nearby. This now, I can take some of the gems that I don't need. This is one of the lowest tier ones, even though it's pretty good. But I can get gem dust from it. I don't need that right now. But what I can also do is I can then take different materials and such and salvage everything from there. Which, okay, it does get stored in there. Good to know. So now I have extra materials from that. But there's more from that. I just do forget the rest of it. I think it's there. I know there's a reforging table, but I think yeah, it's at least too soon for the advanced one. The simple one I could get. Oh, and the fun part is I do actually have the smelting addition into the backpack as well as a crafting grid, so I am my own little mobile base. But still, I find it a little more convenient sometimes to use the crafting table I do have. But now while those stones are smelting, what am I looking for? Ah, that's it. It's a gem cutting table, which honestly isn't too impactful right now, but it's still good to have. I need a little bit more gem dust. Alright, now I have table set up. Finally, that took a little bit for those last two. But now we have, I know, one extra bookshelf. I just made a mistake. This is the enchanting table setup, which is as similar as you know it. However, there's a few gauges here that I have not filled out yet. Those will involve some more. If I look for Eterna, those are going to be some extra bookshelves, but not only that, but if I just do, I think actually shelf, there we go, is all the different types of bookshelves with all their different stats, some pluses, some minuses, and some extra fun stuff here and there. But all possible enchantments are pretty small here. However, there are a lot more that can be created and found as I actually up the amount of bookshelves. I would be able to enchant if I hadn't died, but let's show you the rest of it. Anvil is the same, grindstone is the same, salvaging table I showed you, gem cutting table, I can actually, at the gem cutting table, I can use gem dust and 2 of the same level of gem and actually upgrade them with a certain amount of each material. So that involves taking a lot of my scrap gems, putting them through the salvaging table, and using the parts of that to upgrade gems. But also is the reforging table. I can take an item such as this, put in the rarity material, and I could actually upgrade these and make them become a Apotheosis item. I think there's a proper name for that, a fix item. But as you can see, I actually need the Sigil of Rebirth, which involves a lot more gem dust and a lot more gem dust and silk touch. So I have some work to do, a little bit more grinding, And I think it might be time to get something to help with the storage just a little bit. However, I do need to keep in mind I am very close to being able to go up another tier, but do mind you that's going to add a little bit more armor to the augments for the monsters. Monster armor augments. I got there eventually. And then this next one, oh, it actually does tell me. Yeah, I'm going to need to slay the Wither. This next one I can't see yet, but I know it's slay the Ender Dragon. But yeah, I think it's time to get into the Nether, get some of this upgraded, and get some more better storage happening here. So let's get to it. Oh, and would you look at that, I have a Silk Touch book already in my inventory. And I also have Chainsaw, which is a fun one for trees. Oh, and I can even get Silk Touch at level 19. Maybe let's do that. Well, I think it's safe to say I have done the one thing that I should not be doing as someone who's trying to make a video for you guys, make content, and overall, just show the work I've been doing. Because if you look at my days played, it is now day 70. And you can see by the achievements I've had, and just since the last time I was chatting with you guys, it was what, day 11? Day 10? I've done quite a lot. And one of them is right in front of me. It is a spawner, and it is a spawner that was naturally generated in the world. Yeah, I can move those. I can get Silk Touch and move the spawners around. So I have had that up here, and it is my primary source of experience. Now I specifically mentioned that it is one that was fresh from the world, because if you saw it, it just spawned zombies out of that. I'm going to move out of the way of the pillagers, because after those zombies are spawning, it then turns into a husk spawner. If I can, there's the husks. And then after the husks spawn, it is back to zombie? I thought it alternated between them and pillagers. Anyway, thanks to Apotheosis, will you guys fall down the crack, please? They'll get there. Thanks to Apotheosis, nope, now I fell in. Thanks to Apotheosis, you can now see all of these different stats that I can manipulate and change. So I have redstone control, I have it ignore the light levels. So now any time of the day, as long as I turn that switch on, it will be spawning out mobs. But if you look at the top two numbers, I've lowered the minimum spawn delay because that just involves sugar, but not the maximum spawn delay. And everything else will come. As you can see, I have dripstone behind me because I can also lower if I can get to, there we go, the initial health to 20%, but I don't really see that working as well. I don't know. Might just be something for this spawner, it's not working, but as soon as I customize a spawner, then it'll start working. And I've also just gotten a new backpack, which, ooh, that's pretty nice. Nice, a good horn. Now, a lot of stuff has stayed the same over here, just a lot more backpacks. But right behind me, there's been a lot that's changed. So, while I'm committing the other thing that I should not do of recording in the rain, I turned the rain sounds off, and now I'm just going to hide under here for a little bit. So then you can see everything. Because I did a lot, and that was not my intention. My intention was to set up refined storage and then get going. But then as soon as I set up refined storage, I realized that I needed power. And refined storage doesn't have its own power. So then I said, okay, let me think about the mods I want to use. And I said, you know what? Solar Flux. Solar Flux is a fun mod. Let me show you up that one. Solar Flux is a fun mod. It is very simple and it is very iterative. You start with one solar panel. That can upgrade into the second solar panel, which upgrades into the third, fourth, fifth, sixth, seven, and eight. I don't think I can get the eighth though, because I think there's only one dragon egg in this world. I think. But then there's a problem with Solar Flux, is that it doesn't have cables. So then I had to look for what mods had cables in it, and I ended up using Powah. Now, Powah does have uranium that spawns in the world, which is why I didn't use any other mods, because there's a lot more things that spawned in the world that I would be missing out on. Now this one is a little bit more complicated. There's a lot of different generators and such. I'm pretty much just going to use them for the cables, not too many other things, and I'm now at a point where the solar panels are actually strong enough to survive without any assistance. That being said, that is on a sunny day, and I'm not sure if that's the case on a rainy day. As you can see, I have a backup magma generator and a energy cell, so a battery. And if you're wondering where all the villager noise is coming from, it's this one. This is from Easy Villagers, another relatively simple mod that I do enjoy. They are just pretty loud, so I'm gonna eventually relocate those. But they allow me to have farms in just one block. And eventually they can be sucked up into the system. Well, the outputs at least. And here's the system. I could have just ended with just a crafting grid, but I wanted to have some disk drive storage, and then I wanted it make stuff easier, so that's where the pattern grids came in and the auto crafting monitor. So yeah, I've done quite a bit of work, and I think it's time to actually set up places to actually live and work from, because this is just an open field, and I need to organize just a tad bit better, because before this episode is over, I actually want to be able to upgrade the enchanting setup, and I believe the next one is Nether. Now, before I upgrade that, I should actually upgrade to Ascent. I've been staying on Frontier this whole time, and actually, before I do that, Frontier, 35, 20, and 4 armor. Ascent, more experience, more luck. They have more armor and more armor pierce, so that means my armor is going to do worse. All of these get adjusted, but let's activate that into Ascent. Now I need to work for getting rare on everything and to slay the Wither. Hence, why I will now be focusing on the Nether. Well, before I get to the Nether, I would be upset if I didn't have an actual place to live. So here I am. I've built a house. It's nothing too fancy. The interior is not too crazy, but I did also start kind of laying out a path. I don't have huge plans for this. I don't honestly expect to be in the world long enough to make a lot of stuff, but at least I want to have houses for everything. So this is my house. I've moved the waypoint to be inside of it, and inside here is, like I said, no interior. I'll probably add more, but I have my bed, which I can sleep in, and across the way is some of the main stuff in refined storage. I have a crafting grid with all of my items. I have storage, which can now go up to 64,000 stuff. Well, 65,000, depends on how you really want to count it, but it's a 64K storage disk. And above it, I have an auto crafting monitor so I can watch all the tasks I have put in, and a disk interface. So if I ever need to manipulate the disks in here, which I will eventually, because I do want to store some stuff outside of the disks in here. Taking a quick trip to the top of my roof, I have both of my solar panels active. They are level 5. I have an energy cell just to be a little bit of a buffer. I might upgrade this further eventually. And then on this side is the main controller for the whole system, which is being topped off enough, and if I ever need to, I can add another controller. Now, I still have that monstrosity as a monstrosity. I don't know if I'll ever move it, but down this way, I have a few more buildings for a few more of the things I'm currently using. Over here, I'll start with the furthest away, is just my mine shaft. And yeah, I still gotta clean up these guys. But down here is the mine shaft. I don't know why I left the door open. Might eventually make this a little prettier, but I at least wanted to enclose the space. Over here, I still have some scaffolding blocks up. If I flip this switch, I will turn on that monster spawner for cows. So yeah, my food source is steak. I am not taking questions about the treatment of animals here. Now next door, I do have the enchanting table set up, and I also have added a, whoops. Now if I don't break it this time, I have an exporter here, which will export lapis into the enchanting table. So as long as this is here, lapis will be funneled into it. Slowly, but it will be enough so that as I am enchanting, it will never run out. Now, the most exciting one is this building. Inside here is all of my autocrafters. So this is truly just a facade. I have all my autocrafters. These are roughly organized by which mod they are from. So these have vanilla, these have a lot of the refined storage. This one will have all the solar flux, and this one is just with the easy villagers and whatever else I may need to add that doesn't fit into those three. Over here I have a pattern grid for those of you who know how the mod works. I have another crafting grid just in case, so I can deposit these things in, but what I can also do is with that little transmitter up there, I can be looking anywhere I want, and I have a wireless crafting grid. So I can access my storage wirelessly. I can't really say anywhere because it really doesn't go that far, so I will eventually need to extend the reach. I just don't have the resources for that. Now, ironically, I didn't even have the resources I needed for what I wanted to do. So it's been like a few hours. I went to the nether to get netherwort, but most importantly, ghast tears and some blaze rods. Now, I will say, in terms of blaze rods, I have 2 blaze spawners. They are... Yeah, they are exactly the same. Not sure why they didn't stack. But I do have 2 blaze spawners and some blaze rods. So that means eventually I will make a blaze farm, probably somewhere behind me, at least for right now. Now, one thought was to make that blaze farm with you guys, but I think I might have just enough to upgrade this enchantment setup into the nether versions of the shelves. Just for those who don't know, these are the shelves that I am talking about. I will start with the hell shelf, hopefully upgrade into the infused hell shelf, but we will see if I'm able to get everything correctly. In terms of the general progression for Apotheosis, you start with the regular bookshelves, you go through the hell shelves, or the sea shelves. I probably will do both eventually. I just don't know where guardians are yet. Then you go into the deep shelves and end shelves. So, let's get some stuff set up and transform this into nether. Alright, first 3 hell shelves completed. Now, this will mean, if I take a look at this, my max Eterna will be 45, and I'll gain some more Quanta. So, currently Eterna is 30, Quanta is 15. If I just add these 3, boom, 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 I'm now at 39. That's actually... Oh, sweet. Okay, so that does stack. Okay, so all of these bookshelves are still getting this up to 30, and these are adding 3 more onto it. Now, if I don't think I have anything unenchanted on. Oh, actually. Okay, this should be a good example. So, basic sword. Sharpness 3 is the highest enchantment I can get. This is all of the amount I can get. Granted, this is still a lot of enchantments. But yeah, that's where the start of that is. And now, if I plug this in, 39 is the level I need to. I get sharpness 4 now, and still the same amount of enchantments, but it is now higher levels. So if I continue this one more time, this is honestly going to be the longest point of it all. Put these into storage. I could then create 3 more hell shelves. Alright, so adding 3 more brings it up to 45, which actually 2 more gets it to 45, so let's mirror this real quick. There we go. 45 Eterna, 30 Quanta. So now the highest is knockback 2. It does re-roll it. I now need to get to 45 levels. Enchantments are the same. Unbreaking is a higher level, but essentially, the better stuff it is, the better we get it. Now, the most important thing is that I need to be able to infuse this, which I am able to. Oh my gosh. 45 Quanta, 30, or 45 Eterna, 30 Quanta. Exact. You know, the last time I played this mod, it was in a mod pack, and all of the numbers of this stuff was heavily adjusted. So I'm used to having to use a lot more brain power to be able to infuse these. But now, I just gotta get to level 45, and this can be infused, which will then make it be a little bit stronger, and then I can make a Blazing Hell Shelf, which is also a little bit stronger. However, I think I might just stick with infused for right now. I'll be back once I figure out what I'm doing. Alright, I have just gotten probably the best axe that I could use right now. Ooh. Thank you, sir. I appreciate your service. For those of you that don't know, with this having chainsaw on it, I can now take a tree, mine 1 block, and the entirety of it goes. Now, I do believe I still get the durability damage as if I took down the whole tree, but considering that this has Unbreaking 5, and as you can see, that's not going to be much. But that makes chopping down trees so much easier. And also, if I don't know if I showed earlier, but I did have lines of oak trees and even acacia trees at one point. And if any point of the trunks are touching, chainsaw will still chop them down. So this is extremely useful for farming wood. I've been wanting chainsaw for a while, so I'm very happy to have it now. Alright, level 45 has been reached. Just clearing out the last bits of this farm. That's a lot of stuff. That is... Wow. Okay, hold on. If I sort this... That's a lot of rotten flesh. I don't know why the spawn eggs aren't grouped together. We have 2 spawn eggs of each. 3 more backpacks. Hang on, that wasn't sorted correctly either. Sort by name? Oh, hang on. Oh, if I sort by mod, is that going to do it? Nope, that still doesn't group it together. By count? By tags? There we go, that groups them together. There we go, so 3 spawn eggs. Three types of spawn eggs. Currently, my strategy to recharge is just to come up here to a solar panel, plop it into there, and it just gets recharged instantly. And with Curios, I get a slot just for it, just like my backpack does. And yeah, these are stats. If I show just the ones that my armor is affecting, it's quite a bit. But that's not the too important part right now. Because now, if I then take out the Hell Shelf, which is right there, I can now infuse it. Which, do I get an achievement for it? I do not. But now I can place this, and it has max of 60 with 5 Quanta, and now it's up to 50. Now, like I said, I would be back when I have figured out what I'm doing next. And I kind of have, kind of haven't. Essentially what I figured out, and maybe I'll zoom in on this section, is sea shelves are the same as hell shelves. And I still do want to be a completionist and get all of the options possible, but I think right now I need to start looking for deep shelves. Now, a dormant deep shelf is able to be crafted. A regular deep shelf just needs to be infused, which needs to get 60 Eterna, some Quanta, and some Arcana. Now, to get 60 Eterna, I do need infused Hell Shelves, and that gives me Quanta. Now, the infused Sea Shelves get me Arcana. So hopefully, by doing some of the Hell Shelves, some of the Sea Shelves, I will have everything I need to get the Deep Shelves going. Now, the Deep Shelves are important because the next phase of things is End Shelves. And to get the end shelf, first I need end stone, so I need to go to the end. But eventually I will need to... Oh wait, no, it's at the very start. I need to infused Dragon's Breath, which I need 80 Eterna for. Now, Sea Shelf doesn't get me 80. Hell Shelf doesn't get me 80. The only way to get 80 is to go up one more tier of deep shelf, which gives me an echo shard, to then go up one further, which needs skulk, to go up one further, which can finally get me 80, which involves a warden tendril. And so does the highest one. That's right. I need to fight a warden. Not only do I need to fight a wither to get to summit, and then the ender dragon to get the pinnacle, I need to fight a warden to get the highest enchantments. I don't think I have ever... Actually, no, that's a lie. The only time that I have killed a warden is when I have mods like these installed. Now, don't think I'm ignoring the rest of these shelves. The rest of these shelves are very important. Most notably is the aquatic filtration one. That uses sea shelves and can let me filter out the curses. Now, why would curses be enabled? Well, the deep shelf of arcane treasures enables treasure enchantments. Most notably is mending. I can get a mending from the enchantment table with that shelf. But to get that shelf, I need to get the deep shelves. And to upgrade the deep shelves, I need a little bit more Eterna, which is fine. It's doable. I also have a stability one, which I have a geode somewhere. But note that, Budding Amethyst. Budding Amethyst I need to infuse at level 60, and I have a range of quanta to get. Now, the Stone Shelf should not be useful right now. Melon Shelf and Bee Shelf might be helpful. However, the Hell Shelf of Sight is where it gets pretty fun, but also expensive. I got work to do, and I also got to figure out when I'm going to end this video. And I think as I think about that, I'm going to see if I can find an ocean monument to get some prismarine. Aha, I have found a monument. Now I just marked it as a waypoint, just to see if I want to come back to it. But as you can see, I went on a journey. I completely forgot about being able to trade from villagers, so I decided, you know what, I'm just going to sail south, go to open waters. Oh, I found a treasure map. I'm going to backtrack. Oh, found more land. Let me go all the way out. And then I got to a point where my backpack was getting full, so I just decided, you know what, let's head straight back home and hope for the best. So that lands me here, with a monument in front of me, home behind me, and a decently full backpack of loot. Now, I do have Potion of Water Breathing, which, I mean, just one of them, but that should work for just a little bit. I mean, if I'm looking for a head of a guardian, which is pretty much what I'm looking for, this should be enough, right? Oh, I'm out of my 3 minutes. Oh boy. I'll be back, Ocean Monument. Don't you worry. I'll be back. Well, time to go home. Ocean Monument will be another day and another time. And I am back from the Ocean Monument. And I've been fishing up some pufferfish, but overall I got what I wanted and much more. Not only did I get some prismarine bricks, which is the main crafting ingredient, I do have a guardian spawn egg, and in the rest of that, I have a few more blocks that I don't really need right now, but they could be useful later. So what do I need the pufferfish for? Well, simply to create the sea shelf, I do need pufferfish, prismarine bricks, and water bottles. So let's get some water bottles. Let's get a crafting. Oh, and yeah, I did find a trident in a shipwreck, and I enchanted it with some basic stuff. So let's do the same thing we did and do 5 sea shelves, which should be pretty quick. 5. There we go. Purity of the seas. So now these guys aren't going to increase the Eterna any. However, they will increase the Arcana. So now if I can actually see, because that's the infused. Let's reorganize this a little bit. Say 1 infused, 2 regular hell shelves. The maximum I can get is 60 out of you, 45 out of you. However, to infuse, I need, criteria not met. What's the criteria I need? 45, 15, 10. That's good. That's good. That's not good. So let's add 1 more. There we go. Criteria is met. Time to get some more levels. Well, I've done a few things. The first thing is upgraded the spawner. It now is 20 and 20 on min and max spawn delay. At some point I increased the spawn count. Pretty much this makes this spawn a lot of mobs. A lot of zombies, a lot of husks, and a lot of pillagers. Probably way too much. And I've been getting so much from it that I had to do my second upgrade of this, a new sword. This sword has Knowledge of the Ages, which means that instead of it dropping items, it just drops experience. And my goodness, does that make it be a lot faster to get experience. As you can see, I'm at level 88. Now, I didn't get level 88 to get the rest of the hell shelves. I did not get level 88 to get the rest of the sea shelves. I didn't even get level 88 to create a deep shelf, the geode encased bookshelf of stability, or even to infuse my own budding amethyst. Yes, that's a thing. I did it for this very sick pair of pants with protection, unbreaking, mending, and rebounding all at super high levels, and I wanted to make it an affixed item. So I needed to get a reforging table, not just a simple one, but a regular one, and that required 90 levels of experience. So yeah, now I got a bunch of levels. And as you can see, I did craft my first deep shelf. Now the candles here are something I'll need more of, so I did kind of set up the bee farm. I have a lot more bees in case I need to actually set a farm up. But I did create my first deep shelf. Now I will say I did create a dormant deep shelf crafting recipe, which does involve putting an auto crafter into a stone cutter to get this deep slate tiles, and then smelting the deep slate tiles to make cracked. But now I'm at a point where if you look at the Eterna, it goes up to 70. That's as high as a deep shelf can get. Quanta is a little low because the stability lowers the quanta, and Arcana is at 50. Something I can increase with some more candles. But at the end of the day, I need a little bit more. I just crunched some numbers. I need a B shelf. It just makes it easier to get 100% quanta because most of the other stuff lowers quanta or doesn't really use it. I will also need to get a few more of these to max out my Arcana, but as I go through the process of getting some deep shelves, I think it's time to set up a bee farm. However, I think it's time to wrap up this episode. I could probably jam more into this, but I need to get this episode wrapped up so I'm just not rambling on for hours. In the meantime, I'm going to probably get a little bamboo farm set up, the bees set up, and just some, probably sugarcane as well, just to have some basic stuff that I need just a little bit more of, or a slight more constant supply of. Oh, and if you notice my backpack's weird, I did upgrade it to a diamond backpack and added a battery upgrade. So that whenever my wireless crafting grid runs out, which honestly isn't too often, I can then put this into the battery, fill it up, and really don't lose too much. So now I can do that instead of having to run to my solar panels on top of my roof, which means I can get rid of those. So I want to thank you all for watching and sticking around as well, because this is probably a pretty long episode. Until next time, be good to yourself, be good to others, and be good to the world. I feel like it's been quite a while since I've said that, and it feels good saying it. So, until next time, this has been Radio, and I am signing off.